Okay, so I'm going to answer today at the article that's pretty old by some girl named, let's see, what's her name? Maria Alexander, which claims to have studied combat, actually stage combat with some sword masters. Unfortunately, what those sword masters didn't teach her apparently is that blades like this one that are single edge have two sides. One that is the back side, which doesn't cut, and this side, which if I would do this, it will cut. Okay? So if I put this like this, you can see it, the side that doesn't cut is on my shoulder. Okay, there will be no virtual danger. Now, to put it honestly, generally you would carry it using the scabbard as well, because you need to protect the blade from water and stuff like that. But there are situations in which, okay, so this is the actually, okay, in which maybe you would want to put it like this, like maybe you are expecting some, without the scabbard, maybe you're expecting an attack or something, and you're like, okay, maybe I need to be prepared. Of course, holding it like this means that you have to switch the hand first, but not such a big issue, especially if your hand, if you have this. Okay, now the first picture, actually the girl doesn't hold a sword, rather a knife, which is much shorter, but the same applies. Now, what I wanted to say regarding this is that generally in a lot of cultures, including Arabic, like Turkish, European, Japanese, if the woman was high ranking, and in some cases even she wasn't, she was going to have a dagger on herself as a way to self-defense. Now, she would not be trained to use it, because, one moment, regardless of the type of the dagger, okay, so this is a single-edged dagger, okay, and she was holding it like this, which doesn't do anything. You can see it's not going to cut anything. And the fact that the blade is on the other side, again, there are a number of things you can do. This is one of the way you can hold it, and you can do this, okay? Or you can hold it the other way and use it like this. Generally you would, if you are doing it self-defense, you will use it like this. So holding it like this, maybe like, oh, I'm going to, it's like, okay, I'm scared, but I still have this. It's like you're protecting yourself in a way. So it's not really something that is not common. It's something that is very common. The other image is a female warrior that has a pauldron, which is an piece of armor for the shoulder that stretches to the neck, and again, the side on the shoulder that is on the pauldron is the unsharpened one. So again, no problem, especially if you're after battle, you might keep it like this. If you are unsure if you'll be attacked again, you're like, oh, okay, I know the immediate danger is gone, but I'm still not sure that there will not be another one. I have to take some time to draw my breath because before putting in the scabbard, because maybe someone will attack me. So the third is basically she's holding a knife like this with the left hand and the gun like this. That's, of course, it's stupid and a bit dangerous because you can do this. You can actually cut yourself, so that's reasonable, but of course, even if it's reasonable, it's just a photo. She's overreacting. The next one it's basically a still shot from a movie, I think Princess Bride, but I'm not sure, where a teacher instructs her on fighting methods and basically manages to get behind her and put the sword like this. Okay, that's the man's sword, that's her sword. Now she says, oh, you're going to get double cut. Maybe if the person just puts some force into this, but you're not going to let the person do this. And when you have your arm like this, you cannot put as much force as someone that does this, okay? So the chances are pretty small. And again, it's not to show that the trainee is bad, just to show them that there are some cases where the person fighting will not play fair. Then there are two images, like one is holding like this and opening it, and the other is holding it like this. Okay, now technically speaking, again, this is extremely dangerous and one should not do it, but I'm going to say that probably they're not sharpened and they're just for display, and if that's all it's intended to do and it's not meant to portray someone actually fighting, there's no problem. Then you have the next image, which is obviously a dancer. In both Polish and you have Polish, you have Russian Kazakhs, you have Arabic Turks, you have something called a sword dance. Very nice. Basically done by both men and women, and basically it's like dancing with a sword, and it's very interesting. Generally a single-handed short sword like this, cutlass, and although you obviously will not train with a sharpened one, in a demo you'd probably use one. You could use a sharpened one for the spectacle, to make it more appealing, especially if you're doing it for someone. And there are a number of images that are just this. You have most of the following images, especially the one that she calls that the woman has an armor. No, she doesn't have an armor. She is a Turkish dancer and that's her costume. That's not an armor. Now, she holds a sword in her right hand and a dagger in her left. Probably the sword is not really held properly because she's holding it like this, and I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but probably she did a dance or something. But dagger is held properly, so if she wanted to attack someone, she would be able to do so very easily. So there's no problem here whatsoever. Again, there are some issues like two pictures that are purely for show, and then you have a photo she calls "Is This Sharp?", which is basically doing this, touching the blade. Now I'm not going to do this. I did this earlier before filming, and I'm not going to do it again. But the point is like this: if you put your hand on the blade, even if the blade is sharp, which is generally not, unless you do this, you will not be cut. So there's no problem here. Now, there's also a girl which basically holds the katana by the lower part of the end of the handle, and she says, oh, she will be killed or something like that because you cannot hold it like this. Okay, what's first of all, I can move my hand very fast on the, if it's a one-handed sword, I can move it, right? Also I can do this, right? I can do this, and generally katanas are held like this, okay? So holding it like this, maybe, I don't know. Again, she seems to know only what Hollywood tells her, okay? And nothing more, because, and she's very offended by this. Then you have a black woman holding a katana properly, although the blade doesn't seem to be that of a katana because it's way too slim, and it's like, ooh, that's a problem. Why? I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Why it's a problem? There's no problem whatsoever, and it's just Hollywood trying to cash on some issues. Unfortunately, she actually closed her comments, so I couldn't answer after a few people told her, well, you know, you're not right. Of course, the first messages were like a lot of people going like, you go girl! But anyway, that's about it.